We're pretty much done, aren't we?
Yeah, I think it's time, it's time to play a game.
Scary being such a prohibited favorite going into the opener?
Never have once looked at the line in my life.
Perfect. That's exactly what I needed.
Don't really care. It's the game's played on the grass.
Coach, Nevada's apparently installed a Tampa 2 over the summer. How much can you stand to learn from your team, given like a simple scheme like that?
Well, it's not simple. I mean, it's complex. It just looks simple. I coached it for many years, so I'm very familiar with it. As a matter of fact, I got to spend a lot of time with probably the two architects of it, which were Tony Dungy and Monty Kiffin. So it's something that we have tremendous knowledge of. USC played it last year, so we know what to expect.
Did you use that USC game tape as kind of preparation at all?
No, we don't look back at that. We wanted to look at what Nevada was doing. Yeah, I mean, it's just it's not some mystical thing, It's just a defense. So it matters how you play it, not what you play. It's how you play it, and the players you have playing it. And they have good players, and they're going to play it well. So I don't want to minimize what they're doing because it's not that. To me, it's all about players, not formations and plays. And they've got good players, and they're going to play hard.
Talk about Randall Goforth's progress and what he's going to bring to the back end.
He's probably our most experienced defensive back right now in terms of the number of starts. I don't know that to be factual, but that's kind of my feeling. You'd have to check on Stan and Brandon Sermon and see how much they've played, but at least in the young guys, he's had the most starts. So he's got versatility. He plays some corner, he plays safety, he can play nickel. He's going to play safety in this game. He's a pretty cool customer. He's got good ball skills. The stage doesn't seem to faze him. I want to see him improve as a tackler. And, this will be the first time that he gets real live tackling against somebody other than our guys. So it'll be interesting to see how he does.
When you like playing in Nevada, they have a specific type of scheme offensively. In the college game, is that more the norm where you're from week to week as opposed to the NFL?
Like different week to week?
I mean, is it more standard in the NFL compared to college? Or?
It is. Everybody has their wrinkles. But I think you see more variations in offensive schemes, formations, motions, personnel groups, unbalanced looks, kind of things that aren't necessarily typical on a week-to-week basis in college football.
Why do you think that is? Do you think it's filtering up to the NFL?
I think this is why. You only have so much time to spend with your players in college. There's a 20-hour rule. 3 of those hours go towards the game. So really you get 17 hours of meeting and practice time during the week. And they've got a lot of other things on their plate. They've got school, there's a social aspect to being a college student. They're still maturing and kind of figuring their way out. And so I think what you have to do is simplify your schemes. Like you'll see very simple run and pass schemes from snap to whistle. But what you'll see is a wide variation of formations and motions and personnel groups, the window dressing to try to confuse teams. Once the ball's snapped, you see much fewer concepts than you do in the NFL. In the NFL, you see more concepts run out of fewer offensive looks.
Is that also a way to level the playing field with smaller schools?
I think so.
Bigger schools?
Yeah, like a team, comes in with kind of an unorthodox offense, they can shock you no matter who you are. If you haven't had enough time to prepare, and maybe you don't, like I said, 17 hours isn't a lot of time to prepare. It sounds like a lot, but it's really not. So I think that it's a way to level the playing field. Plus, you see more mobile quarterbacks. It's fun. I mean, it's a challenge every week. It certainly doesn't get boring. Every week you have to kind of rethink your defensive game plan.
Even if you're a 20.5-point favorite?
I don't even know anything about that. Honestly, I don't. I think that that's for the bettors. That's not for the coaches and the players.
How different is this game week been than last year in your first year? Similar or
I don't
different?
know. I mean, that's so long ago. We're playing on Saturday instead of Thursday. We're playing at home instead of the road. But the same feelings bubble up. The same anxieties and nerves and I get a little edgy on the first game week. I guess I get a little edgy all the time, but probably a little more edgy the first game just because there's so much unknown. You put so much work into it, and I think people sometimes draw immediate conclusions from what they see initially, and the team that we are Saturday night, I don't think will be the team that we are the rest of the year. I think we'll evolve, we'll change. Hopefully we'll get better through the whole year.
Does it feel like there's a lot of guess and check with this team as far as,
Ours or theirs?
yours? Like this week, just testing things out, is there a degree of guess and check?
Like, you mean like us guessing kind of?
No, as in like you guys try something out, see if it works,
Oh, no,
and then...
no, we're trying to win. I mean, it's not like we're just like, see if this works. No, we've got a game plan that's specific to try to take advantage of, the things that we do well and maximize our players' abilities. You always have to be ready to adjust during a game, certainly, so I guess you want to put it like that, you could, but for us, I don't ever approach a game. I might approach a practice with, let's see how this kind of works, but never a game, man. You're locked in a game. You better be at least.
Nevada's entire starting back seven is apparently new going into this year. How difficult is it to kind of get a good, scout team look now that even though you don't have any tape on them?
You know what? We typically prepare for scheme more so than players, especially on offense. I mean, you'll identify specific impact players that they have that you really have to put a star next to and say, hey, this guy is someone we really have to pay attention to. But we scheme we prepare for schemes, not necessarily players. Same thing on offense. You prepare for a scheme, not necessarily a player, while you're recognizing that a quarterback or a receiver or running back may have some special attributes that you certainly have to be aware of. Surprise.